Sabaha everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I have for you an unboxing and initial impressions of the Oukitel K8000. That's 8000 milliamps built into a phone that we can carry with us on a daily basis. This is kind of the cousin of the Oukitel K10000 that I featured on the channel not that long ago, but definitely much smaller form factor, OLED display, much newer technology built into this. So let's go ahead and check it out and see what's in the box. So here's the box. Oukitel, again, K8000, 8000 milliamps built into this phone. We have K8000. The screen size is a 5.5-inch display. OS is Android 7.0, so the latest that we can get. It has a gravity sensor support, a proximity sensor support, light sensor support, as well as dual SIM standby. So we have dual SIMs and an expandable storage built into this. www.oukitel.com. And here we are. The Oukitel K8000. We have the branding Oukitel here. I'm assuming this is on the screen protector, not on the actual display. And we have a pre-applied screen protector on this phone. And then we also look like we have a case, kind of like a TPU case built into it. Let's go ahead and take that off. On the back, we have the volume rocker on the indicators for the volume rocker, the power button, the dual SIM tray that I mentioned to you guys, either 2 SIM cards or a SIM and an SD card, so we can expand the storage on here. They do give us here a recommendation not to change the SIM cards or the SIM trays as the device is on. So we always recommend it to shut off the device, change the SIMs, and then put them in. But if you notice right there on the back, one of the things is it has dual cameras. So that's something very new. The K10000 did not. It only had one sensor. We have a dual tone LED flash, of course. On the top, we still have that 3.5mm headphone jack. As I mentioned to you guys, the power button and the volume rocker. The power button does have that little bit of an accent color. You could see that it's a little bit of an orange, matching the Oukitel orange color, and it makes it very unique to look at on the side. On the front, we have a front-facing camera, and we'll get into the specs in a second. An earpiece. Left side, we have the SIM tray / SD card tray as well. On the bottom, we have what looks like 2 grills, but we'll definitely check those out and see if we have stereo speakers or not. And of course, the micro USB charging port, which is also supposed to support fast charging. So we'll check that out in a second. Here it is, Oukitel. Let's go ahead and take out the screen protector. And definitely here it is, powered by Android. Let's put it on the side. Looking over the rest of the stuff that's in the box, we have a warranty card, some instruction manual. It does show here exactly all the bands that the actual device will support. This is an unlocked device, so you should not have any problems with using this internationally. We do have a micro USB to USB Type A, connector, a quick charger, supposedly. Okay, so it does say fast charger, and it says the output level is 5 volt, 7 volt, 9 volt at 2 amps. We have a SIM remover tool that's built in right here, a USB OTG cable. Now, I'm interested to see if this device does the same thing as the K10000, which what it does, it enabled us to be able to reverse charge, which means we can use that 8000 milliamp battery not only to power this device, but to be able to charge up other devices. Let's say this is your second phone. The model number is the Oukitel smartphone. It's a candy bar style device. Android 7.0 is on board. We have 3 different variants in color: black, blue, and gold. We do have the black one here. And of course we have, it says material is metal, but we'll have to check that out. It's a 5.5-inch display, 720p resolution. So it is an AMOLED display, which is very nice. So the pixel density we'll get it is a 267. 16 megapixel and a 2 megapixel sensor. So the dual cameras that we saw in the back is a 16 and a 2 sensor. I'm assuming the 2 is basically the one that gives us that depth perception, so we can get that shallow depth of field. Rear video, best resolution we're going to be able to get is 1080p at 30 frames per second. No 4K, unfortunately. Dual LED flash. Front-facing camera is 13 megapixels, so that's actually a really nice front-facing camera, capable of doing 720p, 30 frames per second. And of course, as far as the processor, we're not looking at a Snapdragon. We're looking at a MediaTek, the MT6750T processor. It's an octa-core processor. The GPU is the 2-core 650 MHz ARM Mali T860 MP2. We have 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage. It is expandable, and we do, of course, have that fingerprint sensor that's on the bottom with that capacitive button. Built-in battery, 8000 milliamp. It does have quick charge built in with that quick charger that comes with it. We have the ability of supporting 2 nano SIMs. Here is some information about the bands that it supports, of course, and officially was released in October, so it's been a couple of months now, a few months since it was released, and it does support Hot Knot, which essentially is the Asian version of NFC. Best built-in FM radio, of course, 3.5mm headphone jack. So I went ahead and turned on the device, went through the setup process. It's very similar to any standard device running Android N. So Android 7.0 is built into this and it's running pretty good. We have the shortcuts for microphone for the assistant as well as the camera. And of course we have that fingerprint sensor that's on the bottom. Once you turn on the device from locked position, you do need to put in your PIN and you're greeted directly into the home screen. So again, this is a skinned version of Android 7.0. Just be aware of that. We do seem to have a dark skin built into this and I'll show you guys what I mean. This is running a 720p OLED 5.5-inch display, so we are going to be looking at low power consumption, really good battery, and really punchy colors coming up to us. Let's see here if the brightness level, how high it is. Actually, this is at 50%, so we actually have the ability of punching it even more and to be able to get better visibility. Looking at the actual options here, as I mentioned to you guys, I have my T-Mobile's SIM card here. Again, this is an unlocked device. Data connection is turned on. We have Bluetooth, of course, Wi-Fi, screen recordings, airplane mode, location, flashlight. Battery percentage, of course, since we already have that, do not disturb, hot knot, and then of course auto rotate, cast, and hotspot if you want to be able to use that. Here is the settings tab. I did apply a black theme and I'll show you guys how I got there. Here's obviously some suggestions. We have the little tab here on the left side. We have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, SIM card. This is where you'll be able to configure and manage the two SIM cards that you have. Hot knot is, again, if you have another hot knot device compatible, you'll be able to use this. Data usage, of course, we have airplane mode, tethering, VPN, and cellular network to be able to configure them. The display, it does have adaptive brightness is on. I can go in here. So we have mirror vision, display picture quality optimization here. You can go in there and customize it. Brightness level, of course, wallpaper, sleep. Screen saver, LED, does have an LED indicators on it. Navigation bar here, you can have the option of setting it. Sorry, with the black theme, it's a little bit harder to see, but you have two options, essentially this configuration and this configuration. So when you switch between the two, it switches it right away, going back. And we notice here that the navigation buttons are on screen. There is no buttons on the bottom here. Font size, of course, you can change when device is rotated, and of course you have casting. Let's go back. And notifications, of course, sounds, you're able to configure the sounds, the volume, the ringtones, all that good stuff. The default alarm ringtone, all that good stuff. Apps, we have 31 apps that are built into this device. Those are installed, and there's some Google applications. I'll show that to you guys. Storage, we have 3.4 gigs of 30 or 64 gigs that are used. So when we go in here, we have 52.66 gigs left, and you notice 10.9 that is used by the system. So we have some system applications that are installed. Battery, it is at 96% right now. Standby intelligent power saving, battery percentage, battery saver, of course. Dark power saving skin, and that's what this is. If I turn it off, it's going to go back into light mode. And by turning on, obviously, black colors on in OLED display, you do save power because it's not powering on those specific, those specific pixels. So you're saving definitely much better power there. And of course, brand new, didn't have a chance to actually run any battery tests on it. I did put it on the charge to get it to go up to 96. It came about 50% out of the box. Under the personal tab, there's about 7 different ones, so you can't collapse these things. I just realized that. So we have device. You can actually collapse these options. That's one of the customizations that they did here. So you look at them right here. So if we just we'll go back here. We'll collapse here, bring it up. So we have the wireless devices. So personal, we have the ability of setting location, security, fingerprint, of course, since we have a fingerprint sensor, you can configure it there. You can touch the fingerprint sensor and configure some options. So touch the fingerprint sensor will return back. Ability music player, video player, and of course, touch control, long press home. You can set some gestures, very, very customizable. Of course, we have accounts, Google account, language inputs, reset. As far as smart assistants, we get some real nice options here. So the smart Soma sensories, I've learned that since I've reviewed or I've looked at the K10000. This is where the ability of actually using the front-facing camera to do gestures in front of your phone. So you can use that for the gallery, music player, camera, launcher, and also to try to unlock the SMS Soma sensories dialing, which essentially is if you're in an MMS view where you're in a text and you're talking to somebody, you can put the phone to your ear and it'll dial them same way in the dialer and the contacts as well as answering calls. Gesture unlock, we have the ability of turning those on. Double tap to wake, swipe to unlock, slide up to unlock, slide down to camera. One-handed mode is very, very nice. You can just basically swipe it down to the side and swipe it back to bring it up. Very easy to use, very easy to turn on. Last but not least, we have the system tab, which essentially is the date and time accessory, printing, schedule on and off, and about Android. As I mentioned to you guys, this is running Android 7.0, so let's go ahead and look at it. So the model number is K8000, 64 gigs, 4 gigs of RAM, status, this is for main camera 16, secondary camera is 13, and Android 7.0 under the hood. Unfortunately, one thing you want to be aware of, the updating process for this will not be under the system tab. You actually have to go into the app drawer. So let's go ahead and check this side out. There's nothing here as far as tabs. You do have an app drawer, and there's a few apps installed. Obviously, the camera is going to be in there. The browser looks like this is Samsung browser, which is interesting. We have Chrome installed. We have Duo. We have Gallery, Maps. Looks like, again, a suite of Google Play applications, as well as the Google Play Store and Gmail. And here's the actual tab. So we have the pedometer right there, music. The FM radio is built in, as we saw in the specification section. And then System Manager, this is kind of like a system cleaner, cache cleaner booster to be able to keep it running very nice. Wireless update is where we'll be able to check our device and see if we have any updates available. It says we need to get connected to Wi-Fi, of course. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And then once you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can check. And if there's any update, it'll come through here. Now, looking over this camera, as I mentioned to you guys, we have a 16 megapixel camera with a 2 megapixel sensor in the back, so that'll give us the ability to take pictures. We have videos, so we can take video, photo, face beauty. Let's go ahead and start switching between them. We have the blur effect, which is what gives us the ability of using those two sensors that we have. And we have mono, which gives us the ability of using just, I think, just a singular, that's the black and white sensor. Of course, panorama, and then we have pro for additional configuration that we can set up here. And it also seems like we do have HDR as far as a functionality here. Hey guys, we have the ability of doing face beauty, mono, as well as photo and video. So mono takes us in, just turns it black and white, face beauty, and of course then standard photo, and then you can take a video. Here's a quick video just sampled for the back-facing camera, the 16 megapixel camera on the Oukitel K8000. Hopefully the sound is good, and I'm also hoping that the actual jitter in the hand is not so bad. Let's go ahead and switch over to the front-facing camera and see how that one performs. Here's a quick sample of the front-facing camera on the Oukitel K8000. This is a 13 megapixel sensor on the back as opposed to the 13 is on the front, the 16 is in the back. Again, just quick, just to show you guys the quality of the picture you can expect out of this device. So we're going to go ahead and do a real quick audio test. This is NCS Jumbo, by Alex, and just basically low volume. Let's make sure it's all the way 100%. Let's go ahead and start. Definitely a unique device with the 8000 milliamp battery, an OLED display, not necessarily the 720p display. I'm going to say 720p may not have been the best solution. I think 1080p would have been better, but we do have a dual lens setup in the back. We have an 18:9 aspect ratio, a massive battery, a lot of good things going on for it. It's unlocked, international. You can use it anywhere you'd like. Now, connectivity and basically radio band configuration and setup, I'll give you guys some more information in the description below so you can see if this phone will work in the region for your carrier and at the speeds that you guys would like. Now, all of this is going to be leading into a review of this device. Of course, this was just the unboxing. Overall, from a sense of size, it's actually not that bad. The K10000 was definitely much bigger and heavier as far as device. And for me, this device is actually not bad. I mean, if you compare it to the Note 8, it's not as long as far as height, not as wide, but as far as thickness, it's just a little bit more. But as far as weight, it's actually pretty comparable. They're about the same weight. And I have an 8000 milliamp battery here as opposed to that 3500 milliamp battery that I have here. So definitely really something to consider if you're thinking about battery life and price point. Of course, this is going to be a lot less than the Note 8. I'll give you guys a link again in the description below for more information as far as pricing, all of that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What would you like me to focus on for the review? Of course, battery life, charging level as far as that using that quick charge that we get with the box. And of course, just camera quality and all of those things. I'll start posting pictures out of that device. Other than that, like and subscribe as usual. Let me know what you guys think in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.